Hello, chat. We're getting started.
Arc.
Yes, the bridge arc basically just started. Yes.
Yes. You know about what's his name? Sabatsu?
Yes. Yes.
The sword guy?
Yes,
The sword
yes,
guy?
the sword guy. Yes, he stood on his sword when it was in a tree.
It's fucking cool, dude.
It was pretty cool. And he like looked over his shoulder.
Fucking cool.
He looked over his shoulder, let us know that he is very, very intense. Yeah, he gets started pretty quick, relatively quick. Yeah. Oh, shit. Okay. Well, and then does it? So you're in the bridge arc of that series. Yeah.
So it's a short hair arc.
Uh-oh.
The first short. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Go to the episode where they buy a restaurant. Pretty good.
Beer.
All right, let me get it. He said he didn't turn on his camera, right?
I don't know what the fuck is it. He didn't. He did not turn his camera.
He's a jolly fuck.
Oh, did they? I don't see it. I don't know.
I found my beer. Whoa. This jerk. Chimney Jim.
I see a black screen on your camera.
Yeah, I wonder why. Let's fix that.
I had the lens cap on mine for you guys, not for chat, but for you.
I don't know why mine's not turning.
Is yours
Probably because I have
OBS?
Yeah, because I have OBS open.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's resolved.
I'm on season 3 of Frasier, Mike.
There we go.
Baby.
There we go.
It just keeps getting better.
Yeah, first season of him having short hair, no longer long hair, which is lost on my book.
Yeah,
it's
I liked
negative.
his clown hair. I was a fan of that. I kind of want to have like if I grew my hair out, that's what it would look like, I think, and I kind of want to, but
what are you waiting for?
I think, well, for one thing, everyone else says it would be bad, and the other thing is like in the intermediately, it does look very bad. Like before it gets
sure,
yeah. Like when it's just here, I just
in the in between.
A slob.
Just wear caps. Just buy a.
It's something I'd maybe do like during this next winter when I'm just gonna be inside a lot, anyways. I'll
right.
Just do that.
Oh yeah, do that.
Who cares? Maybe I'll try it. I mean, you know, before I go completely bald, I want to have Frasier hair at least once. Then maybe
yes, you have to.
One last hurrah.
One last bout of happiness before death creeps in and takes me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm loving Frasier. Frasier is just great. Good. It has some emotional moments. It's just enough, and then they bring him back right away. It's just perfect. They got that shit.
Is Mike using the right mic? Let's find out. Mike, are you using the right mic?
Let's find out.
No way in hell is that the right mic.
Okay,
hey.
Mystery solved.
Yep.
That should be better.
Oh wow,
ooh, that's way better. Holy shit!
Yeah, probably much better.
Yeah.
Oh, how about that?
That is different. Wow.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Okay.
All
right. I'll show that one. Digital napes. I'll show that. Sure. Okay. Let's see. Thank you, chat, for your help. I appreciate it. Let me get some other things. Ooh.
So, Cheers is Frasier Better Call Saul. Okay,
yes.
I guess so.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny because Cheers got the HD remaster, so when you see Cheers now, it looks better than Frasier, even though Frasier is
more recent,
more newer.
That's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
That's bullshit. That's so much bullshit.
Probably because I think like they were still thinking they could sell like nice things. I mean, Frasier was at least on DVD HD and it didn't look awful, so I don't know why it would look terrible on Peacock.
The first season on Paramount Plus, it literally looks like shit.
Yeah.
Now the next season looks way better, but the first season looks like garbage, like straight up from the VHS, and not even like a nice VHS.
I had
you can see like the VHS, like you know the VHS when it's like dirty.
Yeah, the scan lines and whatnot.
The scan lines and shit. Yeah, it's like they didn't try.
I had a Cafe Nervosa cookbook. I gave it to a friend, but it was fun.
Time to riot! Hell fucking yeah, Beef Hammer. I'm
on the wrong thing. That explains it.
Fraser chat.
Podcast producers, threads.
I got a tweet.
That about that Dinkin game. It's pretty good.
Good for you.
It's a problem though, because it's too addictive. I'm like, oh, okay, one day more and I can get like that money to buy a new shovel. It's like, oh shit. Man.
I should go around to old high school. I should go around to high schools and ask if I had their old CRTs too. Old Taco. We'll answer your thing soon. Okay, cool. I am gonna tweet and then I think we can probably get started.
Guys, thank you for that. Be sure to like the show if you're watching live right now.
Yeah.
And let me hit
Remember that tomorrow is Jeopardy. Jeopardy.
Oh, did you get that purchase for Jeopardy, Jeff?
No, they're busy, so I'll have to figure someone else out.
That's fine.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I'm able to find anyone else. What is going on here? Okay, no, that's fine.
I'm gonna look framing for that.
Chat can hear that. Can you guys hear that? You guys might not be able to hear that.
Yeah, we can hear that.
Oh, you can. Okay. Okay. I'm using chat mic. Okay.
I can always make Chris do it as a backup, or we could just get someone from the community. What the heck?
Yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking. Like, yeah, Chris would be good, or yeah, someone from the community. We'll see. I'll ask around tomorrow morning, and then if I can't find anyone, I'm sure we can find someone last minute.
Chats.
Bring one of the Minots.
Minotsers.
I don't remember seeing any CRTs, TVs in my high school, and that was about 5 years ago. Well, first of all, it's only 5 years ago. That's messed up, Nick Turbo. I suppose that it's possible that they could be in the secret CRT cave in your high school. Did you check there? You
Jeff, check your Pixel 6 Pro and verify that I'm logging into your stream elements.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. All right. I need to approve you or something. Oh, yeah. Yes. Yes, it's me.
No, thanks.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Were you like, is it like with my login information?
Yes.
I don't remember. Is that what we did? I thought didn't I approve you for?
I don't know. I've been doing it like this always.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
It's just logging into your account.
Yeah, it's just hacking my account. Cool. Okay, everybody, let's get this show started. I'm gonna go ahead and get this primed. That's good.
We're hearing your.
Yeah, I can fix that by just muting Discord. Mute tab. That's muted. Okay, there we go. Okay, everybody, is everyone? You know, I can just mute other. No, we're fine. Okay, I'm gonna count us down and get us started. You ready, Mike?
I'm ready, sir.
Thanks, Christian. All right, let's get going with a. All right, perfect. Where's my
Brew Kettle? That's another good brewery in Cleveland.
Okay, yeah. There's Avon Brewery is my new hometown brewery, and they're opening a new restaurant. We can go there next time you're here.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, let's do this. 5, 4, 3. Nope, hang on. Something broke.
I did hear it for a second.
You heard the music, but it's something broke with. It did this last time a few weeks ago where it didn't record right away. I'm gonna turn off instant replay on GeForce Experience, and that opens up an NVENC channel, and now we can do it. Okay, 5, 4, 3. The internet, you're busy, let's do this. Welcome to the Game Mess Decides podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything happening in the world of games so you never have to think for yourself. I'm your host, Jeff Grubb. With me is
Mike Minotti.
In today's episode, we got some big topics to talk about. We got video games, but first, Mike, how are you doing?
I'm good, Jeff. Do you know that I'm currently ranked at 248 in the world?
I did. You told me before. I don't see a reason to bring it up on the show.
I've got 2 more red developer times to get to, Jeff. I think it is safe to say I am the #1 neon white gaming journalist in the world.
It's not going to last for very long. I am making a concerted effort to catch up to you.
Yeah, you have to beat the games though, and they get all the red times. You're so far behind. You don't have all the presents.
Every level I do it, I just beat your time. I beat your time. So it's like, yeah. I'm the tortoise, and you're the hare. Absolutely, yeah.
Well, 2 years, we'll see. Because I'm gonna have plenty of time now. Just go back and rebeat those times while you're trying to beat the game.
Yeah, I know. That's the true trouble here. Is that this is a cycle that we could a dark spiral we could fall into forever.
This is a time game now, Jeff, and guess who has more free time?
I've decided, so I got to get those presents to unlock the side stages. I could be doing that. The presents, like getting that on the Steam Deck would actually be pretty fun. I should just do that. So I'm like, okay, I'll play on the Steam Deck for that stuff, and then I will. I'll go ahead and I'll just catch up when I have time to play on PC. I'll make time for that. But yeah,
Jeff, I never forgot that overlay, how you would embarrass me after Astros. I never forgot, you son of a bitch. I've been lying and just waiting for the next time. You came at me and wanted to start a war. This was your war. You had a 2-week head start. Oh, neon white. So good. Ooh, I'm in a cute little race with Dan Riker. Dan Riker. Look at me. You're done, son.
What's your Astrobot time again? I just can't if I try to remember some of that stuff.
God. Wow. Speaking of yelling at Jeff,
oh shit! Here we go.
A game at this size, you're talking about no. You're talking about the new Mario Kart tracks, and you were just absolutely baffled that one of them was Mario Circuit 3 from Super Nintendo. First, you were like, why would the third one be there? Because you forgot that they just had multiple versions of each track. There's like a Koopa Beach 2, there's a Bowser's Castle 4, or whatever. And then for the weirdest one was when you were like, that was the second Mario Kart game.
Listen, my brain, when I was trying to figure out why is that the third, that doesn't make, and then from there, I'm like, everything was just falling apart. My brain was no longer functioning. So
Jan was too nice to yell at me, but I'm not nice, Jeff.
I was like, I must not have been looking at chat at that time either. I probably would have noticed them yelling, but I completely I knew something was wrong as I was saying it again. I could just feel myself none of this is right. But I'm like, well, we got to keep the show going. So, no time to think about those mistakes.
Nothing makes me happier than picking apart these incredibly minor and unimportant mistakes that happen because you're thinking about a million more important things. But I'm here to make sure
all right, what's the next topic? Am I on the right screen? Does OBS still going? Are we losing any frames? How's chat doing? Yeah, whatever.
Mario Circuit 3. How could there be 3?
I have not played Super Mario Kart in any real way in decades.
You should just play the new ones.
I just don't. It's not very fun anymore. It's the big problem. Super Mario Kart.
It's fun, but it's definitely not as fun as pretty much.
It's just missing so many of the mechanics that I come to Mario Kart for now. I mean, I had fun with it. I had fine time with it back then, but even then, it was not one of my favorite Super Nintendo games. It was once the Nintendo 64 came out, that was Mario Kart.
All right, Jeff, let's just do this right now. Let's read Marcus Phoenix's. He's on a roll today.
Yeah, let's get into it. All right. What does Marcus have to say today? What is
first he said,
the big gear of war?
Peter Moore called out Kumbaya Phil. What a failure. What was this about?
This is a topic on the show if you want. Let's see.
Yeah, Is this really just about the thing where the one guy said he wanted to play God of War? Is that all this is?
Yes. Microsoft's head of gaming, Phil Spencer, has said the game he's most looking forward to playing is Sony's God of War Ragnarok. Yeah.
That's nice.
Right.
That's good. I hope he has fun with it.
Right. Enjoy.
then Marcus
Tom Cruise watches movies that Tom Cruise is not in. What are we talking about here?
Yes, this might surprise you guys, but the people who are in charge of these things don't have the same weird tribal brand loyalty that you guys have, actually.
Right. For them, it really is just a job. It's a job you don't get paid for.
Yes. Marcus Phoenix says, in fact, he pays us. Marcus Phoenix says, Xbox saying KOTOR 2025, but so is 90% of Xbox games. I like how he says Xbox say that KOTOR's 2025. By Xbox, he means Bloomberg.
The news says that it's happening. Although it's nice, like that's like one of the first times he's been like, well, PlayStation game is kind of in trouble. Like, yeah. Like, it's the first time I think he's ever even mentioned a PlayStation game. He almost never actually talks about them.
This one, he had to spend more money on this one because he had a lot to say. Stop ducking me, scrub.
All right, quack.
Xbox failed to hit their revenue target. Game Pass lost subs. Xbox won't have any games second half of 2024, according to you. Stay ducking. I don't know what he means by ducking.
I know.
We read everything he says.
Yeah.
And then we ask him for. He's like, when did we say that thing about the second half of 2023 having no games? Because we don't think we said that. You said you had proof, you didn't show it. So you can find it. But look, if we said that somehow accidentally, that it was an accident, we don't think that. So there.
I also think Game Pass grew, according to Microsoft's latest earnings report. It was, and that was offset by a lot of other things that went down. But Game Pass subs were growing, according to Microsoft. And
so it's just lying now.
Yes, and didn't hit revenue targets. I mean, they were within what they said. They were like, it went down year over year, quarterly, like the quarterly earnings. But that was within what they said was going to happen. So I also think they hit their targets. So yeah.
Well, all right. Well, thanks for listening, Marcus Phoenix. But yes, Jeff, I just couldn't wait. I get it.
Like when he's just like, when it's like he's firing him off, like
amped up tonight.
Yeah,
he must have had 2 Zoas.
Yeah, he's got the 2 little pea shooters, and he's just like, pew 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 pew. Here's a bunch all at once. Here's a bunch of money for you. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Where? How do we even do this show? Okay. Get more from Mike and me by joining the Discord at GameMess.net. If you want to ask us a question, you can drop a super chat during the show on YouTube. Thanks to Carlos Ain, who is Insane in the Rain Music on YouTube, for the use of our theme songs. We are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and wherever pods are caught. Give us a good rating wherever you are listening, and hit that like button on YouTube right now. Thank you, everybody who's watching live, for doing that. And if you're watching later, we also really appreciate it. It helps people find the show. We are on, let's see. Join the Discord. The link is actually in the description as well. So yeah, GameMess.net or discord.gg/GameMess. You'll find that below or in the description on your podcast listening device. Thank you to our mods, and you can support this show by going to patreon.com/GameMess. That gets you access to the private channels in the Discord, the Q&A, and the Jeopardy game that we're doing tomorrow night. So if you want to watch that live, you got to join the Patreon or hit that join button here on YouTube. That'll also get you access. Okay. Mike, I got a bunch of big topics to talk about. I guess we already basically talked about the Phil Spencer thing. It's just really stupid, but yeah.
Yeah, of course, no normal person will get upset about it. Yeah,
and it's like, I mean, I did see some like Xbox fanboys getting upset, but it's also like, you know, the Marcus Phoenixes of the world coming through and being like, oh, this is a thing we can sort of needle them about and be weird about.
Yeah,
so
of course, each side's going to use it somehow. Who cares?
Yep.
Yes, obviously, Sony has the bigger holiday game coming out.
Yep. Grand Theft Auto 6 is happening, and we got some details. This comes from Bloomberg. Grand Theft Auto 6 will be set in a fictionalized version of Miami and the surrounding areas. While original plans for a game world that covered many locations throughout North and South America were scrapped, the world remains extremely large and includes more indoor locations than any previous Grand Theft Auto game, according to Bloomberg.
Now, Jeff, I've already been pretty harsh on you, but this is exactly what I said it was going to be, and it sounds like what you thought it would be, with like them spanning like the continent more, or at least the east
was
coast.
The thing they were gonna do and just got scrapped. So it's like It's almost like both things were right, Mike. And
one is clearly more right
than
the other.
Thing that they're doing, but the one thing they wanted to do that was just too big was the thing I said. So
they thought, man, this was actually a stupid idea.
And they are going to add more locations. Is also the report says that as well, which will be Liberty City.
That's different.
Will be Liberty City.
No, I don't think so. No way.
Be Liberty City.
I think no. You save Liberty City for the next one.
I think you do Liberty City in this one, and then for the next one, you do something completely new. I think you go to like Buenos Aires or something.
Look, it could honestly be either way. Let's do a chat.
Okay.
Liberty City DLC or Grand Theft Auto 7. I wonder what people think, because I think that's how. I think you make that the big thing with 7.
I think 7's way too far away, and I think they expect.
I think it's very far away, also.
So they're planning to put Liberty City in this. Let's see. Okay, is Liberty City DLC or the setting of GTA 7?
Yeah.
GTA 6
yeah, that's
DLC.
right. They have to make it DLC so that Cleveland could be the setting for GTA 7.
That's right. All right.
It could be either way, but I if I had to put my $5 on it, That's how I would go.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being the 7 setting, but I just think that would be kind of anticlimactic after all this time.
No, because it'll be after all this time. It'll be since Grand Theft Auto 4. People will be so excited to go back.
I mean, fair enough.
It's still the most Grand Theft Auto city. It's
at this point, I feel like San Andreas is the most one, but yes.
Well, just because it wasn't fun. And I still think there's something about Liberty City. It is the most.
GTA 7 will be on the moon. That's a good point.
There you go. We'll let that just stay. We'll see what people think about that one. Although it looks like I might be taking it out there, like I always do. People think it's funny to vote against me.
Wow, you could never lose. It's either it's a conspiracy against you.
It's never because of actual valid opinions. Right. It's because it's a conspiracy against me.
You're gonna be able to play as either a man or a woman in this one. It's like and the woman is a Latina character, obviously from Miami, the Miami area.
Wow, they made it political.
Bonnie and Clyde inspired, not too surprising. Like it makes some sense. Now, you joke, but
yeah, well, of course, people are going to actually say
people are actually upset about some of the stuff that's in this report about the tone of the game. Bloomberg's report mentions that Rockstar was known for having a workplace culture full of drinking, brawling, and excursions to strip clubs. This version of the company made GTA games that attempted to find satire in every part of American life, frequently by making jokes about the most vulnerable people in American society and leaning into cheap stereotypes, undercutting many of the game's more salient criticisms and best jokes. But apparently the studio hopes to be a new Rockstar Games now. It's already removed several transphobic jokes from the re-release of Grand Theft Auto 5. For Grand Theft Auto 6, Bloomberg says that the developers are conscious of trying to make jokes trying not to make jokes at the expense of marginalized groups and people. So clearly this is going to be a children's game, E for everybody. Yes. It's basically going to be like
they've ruined it.
It's going to be the Paw Patrol game, basically. Like no difference.
Well, yeah, how ridiculous. I mean, look, Jeff, I'm not the biggest Grand Theft Auto fan in the world, and part of my problem has always been how unfocused it is in terms of, people say it's satire, right? Oh, it's satire, but just it satirizes everything to a point where you can't have biting, valid criticism or meaningful criticism anyways of like things like the police or the economy or just the U.S. politics if you're also equally making fun of homeless people or minorities or homosexuals, right? It's just, okay, we're just making fun of everybody, right? And
well, I mean, like
it's all like kind of crass and
they're like, I think people would call it like, we're holding up a funhouse mirror to America, but it's like, well, you can actually just hold a literal funhouse mirror up to America, but that's kind of all it is. At a certain, like, it actually isn't satire if it's just like you're just okay. Everything's gonna be put through this funny, weird prism, and isn't it so quirky? And didn't we do such a funny joke here? I think by putting up these rails of forcing them to think about their jokes a little bit harder, and I said this on Gameless Mornings today, they could probably come up with better jokes that will stand the test of time even better.
Because the problem is, it seems like any joke they just put in, as soon as the first thing they can think of, like, oh, it's no rhyme with penis, then it's going to have penis in it now.
Yes.
Right? It's like the butt fuckers thing from Idiocracy. Like, they would just do that joke. And right, exactly. There's no anything. Just throw it all in there. So, yeah, the fact that they're just going to maybe think about things just a little bit more, I think will be a good thing.
We're just losing a little bit of frames, but it's got to be YouTube's fault. So everyone just stick with us as best you can. Sorry about that. I'm kind of like, what else is there to say here about people who are overreacting? This is definitely puddle news. There is almost certainly no chance in hell that they are going to give up the core of what makes Grand Theft Auto. It is still going to be crass. It is still going to be mostly sort of like, lowbrow humor with a few more salient points. I just bet those salient points will be slightly more put in the spotlight, and there will be fewer things to distract you, like, oh, that's a weird joke about trans people, right? They'll just have less of that, and that'll just make the jokes they are trying to make land even harder, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing.
There's a part of me that doesn't even want to like give too much attention to like the people complaining about the wokeness, because there's so little to even go off here. It just like makes it so clear how completely like vapid that whole worldview is, this whole anti-woke thing. Like, there's nothing to be upset about here.
Right.
Like, they said the smallest thing. They said there's going to be a Latino woman playable, and that they are maybe they're not going to punch down as much. And that's enough to be like, wokeism ruins Grand Theft Auto.
Right, yes.
Right?
There's no way of assessing
So
that at this point.
Forget about you haven't played it yet. You haven't even sniffed it yet. You have no idea. So they're a parody of themselves, and of course they're stupid. It doesn't even really need to be pointed out.
Agreed. KOTOR delayed indefinitely. The news comes after the studio reportedly fired 2 directors and another studio was brought in to help work on the project. According to Bloomberg, and this is another one from Bloomberg, design director Brad Prince and art director Jason Miner were both fired from, I almost said Aspire.
I got in your head.
Yeah, after the studio showed a gameplay preview of the Knights of the Old Republic remake to Lucasfilm and Sony. Aspire studio head then told the staff that the project was on pause and that the gameplay wasn't where they wanted it to be. Bloomberg reported that the remake may not arrive until 2025. We've been saying on this show for a while, the only thing we've ever really heard about this game, at least what I've heard, is that it would be 2025. Like, that's been for a while now, that's been going around this game, because it's like, yeah, they've been working on it for years and it's nowhere near being ready. And that's why this is like surprising that it's still not going to come until 2025. More recently, there was like, oh yeah, this game's supposed to come sooner than that. And I'm like, that's never what I heard. I did not realize it was like, there was they were firing game leads and that there was a chance of this game being put on pause. I'd say, like, it sounds like what happened here is that the scope of the game based on this vertical slice got so out of hand that the studio was like, even if this is we're great, even if this was the best vertical slice ever, we cannot turn this into a full game based on the budget that we have now. And so we're kind of screwed. We're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And so I don't know, like, maybe they're bringing in new people to do a new version of this game that is scaled down, or they're going to hand it off to another studio like Saber.
We barely even think about just how ambitious this really was. We talk about how Aspire hasn't really done this kind of thing. We talk about like the good remakes, right? Like what Blue Point does and stuff. But even when Blue Point does remakes, it's usually of smaller-ish games, like a Shadow of the, in terms of length, in Shadow of the Colossus or Demon Souls. This is a giant RPG. If you're remaking that now, like that is an absolutely huge endeavor, and I don't even know what even kind of mirrors that. Like, it would be more on the scale, even like a Resident Evil 2, and even then kind of bigger than that.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2 is this huge monolithic thing. It maybe feels like there wasn't enough thought put in when this got greenlit about what exactly are we doing here? Can we actually do this? And maybe that's why there's kind of some hesitancy now. Maybe that ship is looking a little big as it's coming into port, Jeff.
Right. And maybe that does go back to why, I think we, like, in a recent episode, maybe, or maybe it was on Xbox Era that we were both on, like, oh, why didn't Xbox pick this game up? Well, maybe they foresaw all of this. Like, maybe it was like very easy to predict that this would happen. And I mean, when this game got announced, the first whispers of any criticisms were all this same thing. Aspire's never done anything like this before. What is going on here? This doesn't seem like something that's in their wheelhouse. It even, like, when you just kind of like stare at it a little bit longer, doesn't seem like something they're going to be able to do based on what we know. And it's always like, well, you don't do anything until you do it. Like your first time doing something is going to be the first time doing something, but still, it just felt like out of the question to really make this a reality.
David Reddick up in chat says, "Do we get a KOTOR Part 1 like Final Fantasy VII Remake?" But, like, again, that's a remake of an RPG classic. And they couldn't actually just remake it all in one game. It's just impossible anymore the way games are.
One game RPG, not a Xbox era, Xbox One era RPG, where it's like that was like the scale was continuing to grow consistently through that time. And there was, like, as much as there is in Final Fantasy VII, there's even more in KOTOR. So
I mean, there's like 5 planets, and then all these space stations. There's even space battles. Actually, the game they're more like turret sections, but still, you got to do those. And you can't really one-to-one remake it. There's so many people who just aren't really going to jive with that. I'd be okay with that. I think a lot of people wouldn't. A lot of people would expect it to be much more Mass Effect 2-y than being like an old school invisible dice rolls kind of an RPG, Jeff. It would be a ton of work.
Yeah, I put up a poll for Game Mess Mornings yesterday asking, hey, what do you think this game from Aspyr actually ends up happening? And most people, the vast majority, I think it was like 3-1, basically saying no. If it happens, and a lot of those yeses were this answer as well. If it happens, it's going to be from another studio like Saber or, this is Embracer Group now. Maybe Embracer can get Eidos Montreal on it or something, or that Square Enix studio, Square Enix Montreal. But it's probably not going to be Aspyr. Aspyr, big part of this story is, they are looking for other deals to make, other games to work on, just so they can have some money to keep the studio going, it sounds like.
They're beginning to run out of Star Wars games from that like Xbox or PlayStation 2 era that they haven't remastered already.
Right, but it's like, wasn't the whole thing about Embracer buying all these studios like, we now have these resources we can use? If this game was going to happen, it seems like this is the time to bring those resources to bear.
Right.
And if that's not happening, there must be some blocking, like, this is not going, the juice here is not going to be worth the squeeze. And so, yeah, probably not going to end up happening. And if it does, it'll be from another studio and take a lot longer.
Yes.
Let's see. Xbox Series X has outsold PS5 for 3 quarters in a row in the US, says Microsoft. This was Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella saying the company has sold more consoles to date than any previous generation of Xbox and have been the market leader in North America for 3 quarters in a row among next-gen consoles. I wonder, been market leader. So
next-gen consoles, does that not include Switch?
Does that not include Switch? And it's like, North America, does that include Mexico? Because if it includes Mexico, I could see that because the Xbox is relatively pretty popular in Mexico.
Mexico's full of Xbots.
Yeah, that's where they all come from. I don't know. I think this is like the kind of thing where, like, not too surprising. You can't really read much into this because PS5 is limited, and the Xbox was also limited. But I think it's clear that Microsoft has made a lot of effort to put a lot of consoles in North America specifically, and that's paid off. And meanwhile, PlayStation's kind of still struggling a little bit more to meet demand. Not just, and I think they've admitted that, like, not in terms of like, we aren't putting all the consoles in North America. They just simply don't have enough consoles worldwide to even meet the demand of one region, let alone their global demand. So it doesn't really tell us too much, except for that this generation of Xbox is performing much better than the previous generations of Xbox. Like, that's kind of all we can read here.
Pablo Costa in chat says that it's super popular down here. Pablo, what does Mexico think about the PlayStation? We need to know the full extent of the allegiances.
I know
you're a man on the scene.
I know that people throughout Central and South America love Xbox. Like, there's a lot of Spanish speaking people who get my mentions a lot of times whenever there's Xbox news to talk about. And they're like, Jeff, tell me more. And they're like, or it's like they're just straight up speaking Spanish to me, and I'm like, I look into it. It's like, oh yeah, these are all people from Argentina or something like that. Shout out to Christian. Okay, let's see. The Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tracks got announced, and
including Mario Circuit 3, your favorite
Mario Circuit
track.
3, from my favorite sequel, Super Mario Kart.
How could it be the third one?
Yeah, how could it be? And then I'm like, yeah, okay, that's right. They didn't have a lot of memory on those things.
They reused a lot of assets.
Yeah, reusing those tiles.
A bunch of Koopa beaches.
Yeah. I'm pretty happy with this this like lineup of tracks because of Waluigi Pinball from the DS.
Waluigi Pinball, so good, Jeff.
So good.
Pablo Costa says they like PlayStation, but seen as a more expensive console. Thank you, Pablo Costa.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah, Waluigi Pinball is like an all-time great track, so that's really good. I'm not the biggest Nintendo 64 or like Mario Kart 64 fan, Jeff, but I do like the Kalahari, whatever, the one with the train.
Desert. Yes,
that's a good track.
That is another. It's an iconic one. Like, you will recognize it immediately.
So that's pretty exciting. That new track, that like dessert themed one, looks really cool. And like some of these sort of these tracks from Tor, which I never played, they also look like a lot of fun. So
right, yeah,
I'm pretty excited.
I am ending this poll, Mike. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I know. It didn't go my way.
It was starting to go back in your favor, and then it was starting to go away again. So I was like, let's. So
that's 69% nice out of exactly 100. How about that? Exactly 100 people think that Liberty City will be DLC for Grand Theft Auto 6, and 30% which would be about 30 votes, think that it's going to be the main setting for the next Grand Theft Auto.
There's a missing vote in there somewhere, so maybe it didn't count yours. Vote. Maybe like yours, it's like no, we won't. We won't even look at that.
In about 10 years, Jeff, we'll see.
I'll remember this. Like I will lie in wait like you always do.
Yes, exactly. I don't forget.
I don't have that scene anymore of like, he's a jolly good fellow, and all the loser stuff.
I need to make a scene and send it to you.
It might be on that. It might be on that computer. Actually, I can look for it. Maybe we'll see.
But yes, these tracks look very good, Jeff. I think these even look better than that first wave we got. Now there's still 3 more waves. We still have 24 more tracks after this, which is pretty exciting.
I think it's yes, right? Because because there should be more than that. Because it's
8, 16, 20. So this is 8, and then there's 3 more waves.
Yeah, there was 8, and then it was 8 before. There was 16.
And then there's 3 more waves.
But I think there's 4 more. I think there's 4 more waves.
4 more waves.
Wait, then, 68. No. Yes, right. Because yes, no. That's right. Because there's 48 total. There's 48 total 32. Tracks. So 16, 48 minus 16, 32. There we go.
Math hard. I just thought there's 3 more ways.
Listen, I thought Super Mario Kart was the second game. So.
Well, that's just because you're a dummy.
That's because I just don't even have a brain half the time. Those are the big topics of the week, Mike. Do we get any super chats before I start looking in here into the Discord for questions that people had?
We have gotten some super chats. We got a bunch, actually. Thank you, everybody. From Rigo Romero. Do you guys see this as Monolith Soft's last game on this version of the Switch? That's interesting, Jeff. Well, they always help out, and I assume they're helping out with Breath of Zelda 2. But I think that the one thing that might happen, if we get another game from them on the Switch, it'll be a remaster of Xenoblade Chronicles X. But like in terms of Xenoblade Chronicles 4 or whatever the next thing is, I imagine that is now a Switch 2 type of thing.
Yeah, I just real quick, Nick Turbo is saying you two are terrible at math, LMAO. And I want to tell him, once you get this far removed from high school, you too will be terrible at math, unless you're doing it daily in your job. I was incredible at math. I was so good at math in high school. Was it like I was good? Like they put me in like the advanced tracks and all that stuff. I haven't done math in 20 years. Like it's just even like simple addition. I'm like, oh God, what's happening? Oh, it's so hard.
I was never even good at math in high school, so I'm pretty worthless here.
What is it? Doesn't matter. Like once you're like it's been 20 years since high school. It doesn't matter. Everyone's bad at math. Okay. Yeah. Any other super chats?
Yeah. Hayden Hayes says, will PlayStation step in to help with KOTOR development, or are they willing to let the project disappear? I mean, they're not going to volunteer like a studio to it. I mean, we pretty much all think Bluepoint is doing something else. Probably Metal Gear Solid seems like maybe the one there, right, Jeff? I don't think Bluepoint's going to come to the rescue of KOTOR.
No ways they're going to come help out KOTOR. No, I mean I get that like there's a Sony connection there, but no, they're going to be working on their own things. So, yeah.
Old Taco says, I asked my high school if I can take their old CRT TV. Now I have a 20-inch flat screen CRT. Time to play the OG Xbox. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it sounds like a good time.
I need to find a new CRT. Actually, I found out that Tony Hawk is coming to YSU, the sort of local state college here that AJ works at.
Oh wow!
And
okay.
I already have my GameCube copy of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 ready. Maybe I can try to find a way to sign it.
I bet he would. Seems like a nice guy.
I think he would. Curry Douglas says, is the Steam Deck right for someone who doesn't really play a lot of PC games and doesn't know Linux? You don't need to know Linux at all. It's like slightly more effort in terms of like navigating it than maybe a Switch, but not very much. It certainly isn't like using a PC. I think you'd be fine as long as you stick to the games in the Steam store that say this is like verified playable or working, verified, whatever it is, the green symbol for Steam Deck, you'll be completely fine. If there's a lot of games on there that you want to play. Yeah,
it's a very good consoleized experience as long as you stay within Steam's like guardrails.
John Cody says, when do you think Marcus Phoenix / Xbot Killer's dad will realize his son has been using his credit card and spending $20 a week on super chats for the past year? That's it always seems like a pretty valid possibility, Jeff, given the the writing quality, and just the fact that he is spending so much money to yell at us. It doesn't seem like it's his money.
Yeah, like you wouldn't do that. I mean, but I don't want to throw out the possibility that this is a grown man.
It's still
alone.
possible.
It could still be his dad's credit card. Like that's very likely too.
I mean, if he's just like some lonely guy, I wish it's fine. You're welcome.
Yeah, for sure. Come here and spend your money. Hell yeah, absolutely.
It's fine.
Yeah, we got you.
You can even ask the same things, but just not ask it so accusatorily, attacking him or whatever.
Well, whatever. If that's how he's got to do it, then he's got to do it.
Achievement says booty passing on Kotor remake makes more sense now.
Yeah,
who's Booty?
Matt Booty is basically
right.
Yes, Phil Spencer's old job. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I think it does make sense.
I just met him. I met him at the Game Fest. I should know. I was like, "Who's Booty? That's a weird name. His name means butt."
One time, when my wife had a roommate when we were dating, and I they changed out, and she got a new roommate, and the mail started coming. And I saw the mail, and I was like, "Ha! Clap!" Like the clap, and then she was right there, and it was her name, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm such a dumb fuck.
Okay.
I'm such an idiot."
My brother worked with a guy named Jim Butt, for just B-U-T-T, not even spelled differently. And he changed his name to Bot when he had a kid. He didn't care more, but he's like, I don't want the kid to grow up.
Right.
His last name's B-U-T-T.
Yeah.
It had to happen eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Irio Delgado says, Jade Empire HD / remake? Does EA own it or Microsoft? Jeff, I think I just saw Jade Empire in Game Pass or something not too long ago. So I don't know who owns it, but at least Microsoft has access to it. But I don't think they're ever going to do too much to Jade Empire.
No, probably not.
Have you ever even played Jade Empire? I have never touched a moment of it.
I've not. It's the kind of thing where it's like I was very excited about it at the time.
Because it was the one right after KOTOR from BioWare. Right. So, yeah, we were all pretty excited. But everyone was kind of like, it's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. That was the tone, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I guess I'll wait. And then I was like, of course, something else came out, and I just forgot.
Nick Turbo says it's an EA play, so EA probably still
I think that's all EA, in my opinion.
Yeah. Supernova says, who is Marcus Phoenix? Is Jeff Keighley involved with this? That would just be the most incredible outcome if it's been Jeff Keighley all along.
Yep. It would be that. Never mind.
What? Say it.
No, I was going to say that would be using Dad's money, probably. He's using all that IMAX money, but I love you, Jeff Keighley. I love you. I'm just joking.
Oh, wait, I got to do the thing. Like in the game.
Yeah, okay. Good, great.
That thing, right? Yeah, exactly. Daco says, why do you think The Last of Us remake is so much more harshly criticized than the Demon Souls remake?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. Demon Souls was stuck on PS3. You can literally play The Last of Us remastered right now on your PS5.
Yeah, the fact there was a remaster in between, which is I think is the big difference there. That is pretty. I haven't even really thought about how, in terms of the original game to the remake, relatively close-ish, but even still, there's a difference.
Yeah, and also I don't. The Demon Souls remake looks very
good,
upgraded compared to the original Demon Souls.
Right, like Demon Souls, the original Demon Souls did not have a Last of Us budget.
Yeah, no way. Right, and then the Demon Souls remake looks like it does. So.
Nintendo Derek says, does this mean Aspire? Thank you for spelling it that way for me, by the way. Does this mean Aspire finally makes a Rogue Squadron 2 or 3 remake?
Remaster, like, yeah.
Well, remake might be the more appropriate term here, Jeff, because we know how, incredibly complex those games are. It might almost be easier to remake. I assume that's why they haven't been remastered.
Right.
Because they're so difficult to even emulate still on things like Dolphin. So I otherwise, why haven't these been remastered along with everything else? These are maybe the best. So
yeah, that's probably a good point. So and then those are the scope of those would make a lot more sense with the remake. So but again, does the addressable market for those games, is it big enough to justify? I don't know.
I mean, I wish they'd do whatever just to make those playable on modern systems, because those games are good. I will say, I guess it's a little weird they haven't at least just done Rogue Squadron, like the Nintendo 64 one even.
Yeah.
or like a Battle for Naboo. Right? Like I'll play Battle for Naboo.
I played Battle for Naboo on my Steam Deck like a week ago.
That would be a cool game to get on NSO. Battle for Naboo.
Yeah, like, a lot of those games would be very cool, but that would be neat.
Like, even honestly, like I get it. There's some licensing thing. I'm kind of tired of that being like the always excuse. Well, there's some licensing.
Well, then pay them.
Pay a little bit for the license.
Yeah, fuck them. Pay it.
Like pay to get Shadows of the Empire on NSO. Come on, it's Shadows of the Empire.
You have John Drake's number. Call him. Right. He'll talk to you.
Like, I get it'll be more expensive than if you're just putting your own games on it. Well, Tough Nookies, like, pay a little bit more. Like, we're paying for these things.
Yep.
Like, we realize it probably did not cost you very much money to throw Pokemon Puzzle League on
and Fighters History, the Data East game from a defunct publisher. Who the fuck knows even owns any of that stuff? You just found it in a gutter.
It can be done. Castle of Illusion was on the Genesis Mini.
Yep.
Like it's possible. These deals can happen. So yeah, part of me is
just
like kind of
license the stuff with your own characters, like Super Mario RPG. You goddamn weirdos.
Damn right. It's like as soon as there is a single hurdle, like no.
Oh god, that's a lot of work. The one guy like running this entire thing is just like, no guys, it's so much. They make me do everything. I can't do all this.
We can't possibly.
It's Mr. Bean just trying to get Nintendo Switch Online going.
Big Sexy says, "Love you guys, never change." Thank you, Big Sexy.
Thank you, Big Sexy.
To you.
Yeah, absolutely. Loved you. I loved you and Magic Mike. And was Big Sexy Kevin Nash? Was he Shredder in one of the movies?
He was Super Shredder.
Super Shredder.
And
of
Turtles 2, the best one.
Okay. That's the subtitle, by the way. The best one.
Sorry, Elwood, because like put a limiter on Mike's audio. I'm probably screaming a lot today. I'm in a mood.
I literally do have a compressor on it, but it's not maybe it's turned off.
Gain.
You know what? I'll do it.
I lowered my gain a little bit. I know I've been screaming constantly this episode. I apologize.
There we go. All right, let's just hit this. If it gets above 18, it'll activate. All right, there we go.
Activate. All right, Jeff. That is it for the super chats for now.
Okay, cool. Let's get to some of these questions from the Discord. Major Blazing, hi guys. What do you think could possibly be evergreen titles for PlayStation aside from Spider-Man? It's a good question, right? Like Spider-Man obviously has been their most Nintendo-like game in that it continues to sell at a pretty high price ever since it came out, and the same is happening with Miles Morales. But like, do you expect? I think with Horizon Forbidden West, like we've seen that kind of jump back up in the charts as more PlayStation 5 start to sell. Do you expect that to have anything close to what Spider-Man has done, like long term, though?
I don't know, maybe not. I was kind of surprised, Jeff, that Ratchet and Clank didn't do that a bit more.
I just think families aren't picking up PlayStations very much.
Right. That was one that surprised me. So. Yeah, I guess that is just it. But even still, it's like, if you ask me, like, I'm getting a PlayStation 5, which is the one game I should get, I would say Ratchet and Clank still, and then maybe Miles Morales.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that the people picking up PlayStation 5s are the kind of people who are super tuned in and want the next thing. They want the next thing. And the only time that they don't want the next thing is when they're first buying the PS5 and they are like, okay, what are the must-haves? What are the things I must experience to make this thing worth it? But then, they get right into that conversation about like what's coming next. And so it's and that that's a pretty sizable audience, but it is not like as sizable as families just showing up and being like, hey, whenever we need to do something as a family, maybe we can go out and buy this Switch. It turns out there's millions of people in those situations, and they just keep going out and they keep buying Switches, and they buy Mario Kart, and they buy Animal Crossing and a ton of other games, from like around 10 other games that are in that same situation that are all above 10 million copies sold, including Luigi's Mansion 3. So, yeah.
That's right.
From Doc7, hello, Ohio dwellers. After a long sentence in Nintendo death row, your final hours have arrived. As a last offer of clemency, Miyamoto has allowed you to choose each other's method of execution, as well as which Nintendo character will carry it out. What and who do you choose? I mean, listen. Okay, Christ. So have you ever seen GoldenEye?
Yes.
Okay, so It's going to be Daisy, and she's going to squeeze you to death with her legs, her thighs.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. I got you.
I appreciate that.
I got you.
That was nice of you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Absolutely. You could just let Wario fart in my face until I die or whatever.
I was going to say Wario's going to give you some kind of a disease. I don't know.
Yeah, gonna give me what does he have?
I guess I want Wario to curb stomp you. How about that?
Oh, okay, cool. Yes, the worst way I could think of to die. Cool,
yeah,
cool.
Not nearly as nice as mine. Well, you know.
Yeah, I get it. Of course, I deserve it. Yes. Let's see. From Laushin. Hey, gents. Hope your weekend plans are good. Mike, Red Dev times Minotti. Oh, fuck off. And Jeff, I got Choco Taco Grubb. In world where Jim Ryan actually played video games, what game from the competition would he be looking forward to playing if they had any? How much do you think it would cost to build an Infinity game table? Thanks for your for the great content. That's a good question. Like, to build one, it would probably cost slightly less than what it would cost to buy one new from them. But then you got to keep. Well, I guess you get everything on Google Play. You could probably get a free chess game on there. I don't know. It'd probably still be pretty expensive. Yeah, Mike, what game is Jim Ryan looking forward to playing from Xbox if such a game existed?
Gosh, I bet maybe he's probably interested in Forza since he was so obsessed with racing games looking better than old ones, right? So maybe he's interested in the next Forza Motorsport, whichever number they're on. I can't remember.
I think he is publicly set. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. The next one's just going to be called Forza, I think. Forza Horizon, or Forza Motorsport.
Forza Motorsport once again.
Yeah. I think that Jim Ryan has publicly said that his favorite game is Jumping Flash. So what is
That's actually incredible.
Yeah, but it's also the right one if you are looking to pull one that seems like a relatively deep cut. But
oh no, you think he's a phony?
I can't help it. I can't help
come up with it. I will say. Nobody would actually say Jumping Flash and not Jumping Flash 2. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Come on.
I think that he would. I don't know. I'm trying what is the most Jumping Flash Xbox game? And
what is the most Jumping Flash Well, what games that are Jumping Flash? Basically, I think of Metroid Prime. Actually.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So that's what he's looking forward to. Metroid Prime 4. No, definitely not. All right. From Epic Open World, hey Beef Bros. It was announced that the Choco Taco is dead. What snack food would you be disappointed if it went away forever? I don't know. I'm trying to think.
I will say I'm not much of a snacker. It's one of the few things I think keeping me from outright horrific obesity is that I don't snack. I do like shortbread cookies, but that's a generic thing. I mean, if they canceled Oreos, that's still a guilty pleasure every now and then. It's just a straight up Oreo.
Right.
That is still probably actually the best cookie is an Oreo.
I like hot tamales. Those are the little candy, the cinnamon candy. I like cinnamon candy. I get a craving for them, and it's if they were off the face of the planet, that would be that would suck to get a craving and not be able to do something about it.
Isn't a Choco Taco basically just a drumstick? That thing in a different shape?
I think so. I'm not a huge ice cream guy. I've had my fair share of Choco Tacos in my life, but I guess what? I don't pay that much attention. I just shove it down my gullet and go about my day.
That sounds right.
Yeah. So as far as I can tell, when I think back, I think you're right. They are pretty much just a drumstick. My kids like drumsticks. I guess I could let them try Choco Tacos, but it seems messier.
Drumsticks at the swim club here at the little concession stand.
Yeah, your brother was telling me all about the swim club, and I'm super jealous. I wish we had exactly that thing here. From King is Overrated. Hey, Jeff and Mike, hope you guys are having a wonderful week. Question this week is about Zenimax Online. I'm curious if either of you have heard anything about their next project they teased last year during the roundtable with Xbox. I've heard through the grapevine it could be a multiplayer related mode or MMO of Starfield. Any credibility to the speculation? Hope you guys have a great rest of your summer and stay cool. Yeah, I think I've heard similar things. It could be an MMO of Starfield. But I don't know. That seems a bit putting the cart before the horse or something. It just feels like jumping the gun a little bit.
It's rough. I do wonder how much longer ESO is going to go because, they keep making expansions for them, and they're big expansions. And it seems like those fans like them, but they don't get very much attention outside of that very specific audience anymore. Right? That High Isles came out like a month or so ago, and I mean, did you know? Right? Like,
I think I was there was something that like pointed. I think it was maybe at E3, and they said it was happening soon. So,
yeah.
But other than that, I would not have realized it.
Right. So, like, what is next for them? Is it going to be? It's hard to say because you assume it's just going to be another Bethesda thing turned into an MMO, I guess. But I don't know. Like the Fallout already happened without them, so what else would it be aside from some kind of a Starfield thing? But that's kind of weird. We don't even have a single Starfield game out yet.
Yep. It's tough to say, but I suppose like if they had to do a follow-up, what else are they going to do? I guess Starfield makes sense. And that honestly, is the thing I've heard too, so I don't know.
If it was me, I'd honestly just say make ESO 2. Like do that concept again. Do it from scratch.
Right, do it from scratch. You're right. That would probably be the best use of their time. Honestly, I think I agree with you.
I know it's like an unpopular thing to make sequels to MMOs anymore, but maybe in that case.
EverQuest 2 is huge. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, huge.
Mr. Bowler, hey, Jeff and Mike, what are small mistakes that people regularly make that you know aren't a big deal, but it bothers you anyway? For me, it's when people use standard time. This is mine. For me, it's when people use standard time when writing out of time, like EST, when it's actually daylight savings time, so it should be EDT. Yes, I know what they meant, but deep down it bothers me. Mr. Bowler, this is exactly mine. I get this.
I know. I'm the one making that mistake all the time because I don't actually know.
Everyone is. No one cares.
I don't know if we're.
It doesn't matter. No one cares.
I can't remember.
But it's like I'll get a thing from a PR person, and they'll be like EST, and I'll be like, I should just fuck them here. I should just put it out an hour early or whatever. But I think like it would actually go the other way. But it'd be like, yeah, I'll just put it out an hour early. Well, you said EST, so standard time it would be this time. You're not living daylight savings time.
You should just break the embargo.
Yeah, it all just it all happens in like a second. That flashes in my brain, the evil pedantic within me. How about you, Mike? Do you have one of these?
I don't know. There's like I'm an editor, Jeff. So there's so many like word thing. A lot of it is basically commas and not using commas when properly. Specifically, the people who just use a comma before and no matter what, whether it's necessary or not. That's my big one. Like it has to be a new independent sentence with an independent thought and a new subject, right?
Yes.
And they just throw it in there anyways. I get upset.
Yep. The comma splice. I did get a little bit with the this one's maybe actually not quite meaningless, but like the active voice. Whenever I read it in a headline about something that matters, like when a cop shoots, like shots were fired, and they don't say by who. I'm like, that's not active voice. I wonder who they're protecting here. Delta Prime 80. Yep, absolutely. Delta Prime 84. Hey, Beef and Cheddar Boys. I'm someone that still plays GTA Online, and as such, I was wondering what your thoughts are on my idea that GTA 6's GTA Online might include the current GTA Online as a component in order to help facilitate players' transition and mitigate the risk of losing players. How do you navigate that? That's like cumbersome.
I think it would, and I think like people would hear that and be almost disappointed, right? Like I think people are expecting something new and big. I mean, I know Grand Theft Auto 5 Online has been this big deal, but it's also it's been around a long time. I think people are expecting something kind of new and exciting there.
Shut the fuck up, Nick Turbo. Grammarly, get the hell out of here. That stuff's a scam. I think they are going to go all out with a GTA 6 Online now. I know that's like I get the problem with doing that and the challenges of doing that, but I also think that they could pull it off, even though they are coming off of Red Dead Online not working, right? So, but I still think they're going to go all out, and I think they see this as our opportunity to do things right this time and create a foundation that can last even longer, last forever. Although, I mean, do you give up the money they're making? I get it, but I just don't know. From Pablo Cost, hello, Beef and Cheddar compadres. When Sony detailed the PSVR 2 specs, my gut told me the price for it could be between $500 and $600. Now that the company has unveiled more details about the headset, and with the Oculus Quest 2 going up $100 more, is the $600 price for PSVR 2 more likely? I think so. Like definitely with I wonder if part of the price going up for the Oculus Quest 2 is they got like word of like what the PSVR 2 is going to cost. I think a PSVR 2 was probably going to cost quite a bit, and if they didn't, like if it wasn't like working backward from Facebook learning what the PSVR 2 is going to cost, this gives Sony a little bit more room to maneuver, where it's like before, like they were going to be compared to this really affordable Quest 2. Now they're going to be compared to something that's like, it starts at $400, and not just that, it just went up in price. So it's like, oh, if it starts at $500, that's going to look pretty good. And even at $600, saying that I think the PSVR 2 could probably get away with that. But I think the most likely scenario here is the PSVR 2 is $500. What do you think?
I think so. I mean, not that I think they're going to like sell it at a loss yet, but they definitely want to sell PlayStation. They want to sell these PSVR 2s, right? Because it extends the lifespan of the PlayStation 5, which sounds ridiculous because who's worried about that right now?
Right.
But still, you know, they're going to sell software and make money off of that. I know Oculus says that too, but it seems somehow more permanent to PlayStation.
Yep, I think that's right. From Hosp, hey yo, messy boys. I've been playing a lot of Live Alive this week and thoroughly enjoying the bite-sized chapters. Got me wondering, is there any reason why now most RPGs are 80 hours plus in length? Maybe I'm just getting old. Yeah, it's because we all whined when we were younger. And we said we wanted longer. An RPG needs to be longer, needs to be longer. And now here we are.
Yeah,
we fucked up.
I even yelled about what Xenoblade Chronicles 2 being 80 hours long. People got mad at me. Like, oh, I agree. Some of them are too long. I remember when at least it was like a novelty. It was like Persona 3 was like 100 hours long. It's like, oh, well, that's like the neat, quirky thing about Persona 3. And now, like, they all are. And it is sometimes just way too much. I agree. I like the 30-hour JRPG. That's something that I always liked about Final Fantasy was there was always kind of a relatively brisk pace to those games. They were always about 30 hours long, and that felt pretty nice. Heck, games like Chrono Trigger, like even getting the best ending in Chrono Trigger takes like 15 hours or something. It's not very much.
Yep, and it's just like scale and you know, market forces are the reason that they are this long now. From Danger Man Leet. Hey guys, this may sound like a dumb question, but since T2 will want an Xbox huge launch since Take-Two will want an Xbox huge launch for GTA 6, undoubtedly, is there any chance that GTA 6 could even be cross-gen? Of course, as GTA 6 will last a long time, it'd be a huge mistake, but I got a feeling suits at Take-Two want to break records at launch. My guess with that game is that it's not going to be cross-gen. It launches for this gen first, and then a year later, they do the next-gen version. If that's how it works out. Like that would be not like depending on when that game comes out, right? If there is next-gen consoles or whatever, they'll probably release it for PC a year later, and then once the new gen consoles come, not a year later, but like whenever they come along, they'll do it then. I think that's kind of how it'll go. That game's coming out before, like these consoles launched in 2021. So yeah, we're not going to get, I guess maybe 26.
2020.
2020? I can't remember. I can't keep track of time.
2020.
2020. You're right. Yeah, it's 2 years. So, but like 2026, I guess we could be bumping up maybe to a next generation. But even so, that Rockstar always does it this way. They release it on the current gen. Then if it makes sense, they'll do it on the next gen console and then PC. Or like Red Dead Redemption 2, they released it on PC and then the next gen console. So, or they'd even do an updated version of that. But yeah, so they'll do whatever makes the most sense for being able to release a big new version of that game like 2 years in a row, basically. From Bench JC, hello Jeff and Mike. Today is Thursday, and do you know what that means? Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is tomorrow. It's probably tonight at like 10 p.m., right? That is my most anticipated game this year, and I wanted to ask you all, what are you really looking forward to in gaming for the rest of 2022?
For the rest of this year, Monkey Island, Return to Monkey Island's a big one. Splatoon 3 also comes to mind. I think those are some of the big ones. Yeah,
I want Metroid Prime Remastered to be announced. I'm looking forward to that. So I could just
if it was announced, I'd care a lot. But even not that I doubt you, Jeff, but I doubt the universe.
Yeah, for sure. But that's why I wanted to announce so I can get it off my plate. But then also so I can look forward to it, and so everyone can be looking forward to it. I think that'd be really nice if we can get to there again, where everyone's just playing this game again. That would be fantastic.
I want to point out that Nick Turbo yelled at me for saying Persona 3 is 100 hours long. And he's like, it's not. I looked it up. It's 87 hours long according to Time to Beat. He's like, well, that's not 100. Give you
Nick Turbo, and you are both having a night. You are both in a mood tonight, and I'm stuck in the middle here.
Well, we had that lively Kentucky Route Zero discussion earlier.
Oh yeah, how did that go? I missed that. I probably would have just dragged it down with me being like, I guess I don't get it.
That. Well, I mean, there was a few people who were kind of like that, but yeah, it was good. But we got next month's game getting decided by the end of the month, so make sure you vote if you're interested in that.
I'll grab that and put it on the YouTube channel or something. Okay, from Beef Hammer, happy Thursday, Jeff, a delayed game, Grubb, and Mike, a rush game, Minotti.
Wow.
The Kotor remake feels like the first time in a while where a big budget, highly anticipated game might get canceled. It could steal Scalebound spot. I usually assume that no matter how long it takes, a game will come out. Will this report make it so that people are even more distrustful of games that get announced super early? Yeah, but this game wasn't even announced super early because, I mean, they worked on it for 3 years before it got announced. 2 or 3 years. Yes, I think it's going to make people more skeptical in general of all the marketing, which seems about right. Even games that felt like, eventually something comes out. Many of those games got close to not actually happening. The Last Guardian was one that was like probably going to get canceled. And then people made a big stink about it. And they're like, I guess we'll just finish it. So yeah, I think, it'll make people slightly more skeptical overall.
I mean, is Everwild actually going to be a thing?
Right, yeah. That, but I mean, like Beyond Good and Evil 2, like we're going to see that game pretty soon, right?
I can't believe that. I can't believe that's going to be real.
Right, and it's like when we see that, like, does it look like the initial reveal? Or if it doesn't, do people care? I suppose if it was like bringing back what's her name and was kind of like a real sequel to that first game, Jade, then people probably wouldn't care so much that it didn't look like that original trailer. But yeah, I think people will be more skeptical going forward just because that's the way the sort of audience is moving anyhow. From M and Goldie, hi Jeff and Mike. The Mega Millions lottery is over 1 billion. Let's pretend you're the solo winner. What crazy gaming thing would you build now that you're super rich? Would you have a VR room, multiplayer room, tabletop room?
I'd definitely just get an arcade room, I think.
Yeah, I would get I would get many of the big like not pneumatic, but the big like moving machines, like a Sega Rally 2 with the one that like actually like moves around when you're in it.
Yeah.
And I would hire someone on to like service these things regularly.
Yes, exactly. So they're in tip-top shape.
Exactly.
Yeah, someone's job is going to just be maintaining my Tron machine.
Yes, exactly. That's just my Tron guy. Don't mind him.
That's just my Tron guy. He hates his job. It's not very fulfilling.
No. But I give him a room. He lives here. He needs to be here looking over the machine 24/7. It's
very important work. He might stab me in the middle of the night someday.
Yes,
I scream at him a lot.
Right. We got a real what is it, Parasite? What's that movie? The Korean movie? It's one of those situations.
I think it's Parasite.
Yeah, he lives in my basement, fixes my Tron machine. I don't even know he's here most of the time. He says personally I would build an arcade room and probably a bowling alley for good measure. Yeah, I would see if I could like continue like building out my basement underground in that direction because there's like houses to the side, but backwards, I could probably go backward for quite some time and maybe a bowling alley. That'd be cool.
I probably would get it more into collection, like very specifically. I'd be like, I'm going to have a complete Sega Saturn collection, stuff like that.
Right. Screaming Turbo Madden. Hello, Jeff, in Sting's voice. The Shockmaster? Wait, which Sting, dude?
Oh no, Jeff, you don't know about the Shockmaster from wrestling?
I don't think I know about
That's the fat guy with the Stormtrooper glitter helmet.
Right, okay, yes.
Down.
Yes, he fell down. All the stuff, I know him.
All I'm say is my partner's going to shock the world because he is none other than the Shockmaster. Then Jeff is like, all right. And then he immediately falls through. That's the best, is you hear some announcer, I don't know who it is, just like all right. And he immediately falls, and Booker T's laughing and says, he fell on his ass. And he gets up, and it's like Ole Anderson doing voiceover for him. God, that's great.
Okay, yeah, I'm well aware of the Shockmaster. I forgot his name. And
how dare you?
Yeah, right. I messed up bad. He's gonna yeah.
He's gonna shock you.
He's gonna shock me.
The world.
Yes. And Mike in Mean Gene's voice. I don't try to do a Mean Gene. Don't tell me you're the gobbledygooker. Yeah,
that's pretty good actually, Jeff. Yeah.
Thank you.
These fans are going crazy for the gobbledygooker.
These fans are going crazy for the gobbledygooker. I'm not trying to like. Yeah, I got to like pull it in a little bit to get the Mean Gene voice, but whatever. With the WWE getting major changes in management as Vince McMahon retires, do you think that will have any remote impact on how WWE will handle their output in games? Do you think there's a chance we get sequels to cult classics WWE games soon, such as WWE All-Stars? No, I bet a lot of those issues are all on the game production side for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, like if that stuff was gonna happen, maybe after that one flopped, but the new one did pretty well. People seem pretty happy with it, so I think they're just going to kind of go back to the yearly releases with that formula for a while until they have another problem.
Yeah, I say that if there's any chance for like some other stuff, it would be if NetherRealm gets spun off or something or gets sold, maybe they get to do that real console version of their WWE fighting game.
Yeah,
and that would be fantastic. Yeah. Let's see. Cranches McBasketball. Hello, Jeff and Mike. With the news of the Kotor remake getting indefinitely delayed, is it safe to say a delayed game is eventually good, but a rush game is forever bad? Sure, Cranches. Sure, Cranches.
But what is it an indefinitely delayed game?
Right, yes. It's indefinitely perfect. Yes, it's perfect in our mind's eye. From Dugan. Hello, Jeff, Wet Bones Grubb, and Mike, Dan Reichert, Stan Minotti. What would you recommend for someone who wanted to cut their teeth at video game and or entertainment coverage on the internet? Is there room for good writing nowadays, or is it only video essays? Thank you, deciders. If there's room for it, I would say try to find other people who are trying to write like you and get in good with them and work together to make each other better. And there's sites of people who are all volunteering, and they have like editors and stuff. And I always point people to side questing. I don't know how much, if anything, if they pay, but it's like everyone there is volunteering, and they're all trying to get some bylines and stuff like that. So, you talk to Dolly at SideQuest and see if he's still doing that stuff. And if you're serious about it, he'll probably, want to hear you out and give you a chance. And so, yeah, you work, it's completely viable to just start doing video essays on YouTube. Just basically start making stuff. You got to start doing stuff, though.
You got to make content. You got to, get bylines out there. It is weird, Jeff, that we've not been doing this for so long that our experience is almost not applicable anymore.
Yeah, right, exactly. If you wanted to tell me, he's like saying, how do you cut your teeth? Like, no one's saying, like, how do you get the job you have? I have no fucking idea. I have no idea how. Like, this is... You could not replicate this. I could not replicate it. Yeah,
That was my first step.
Yeah, I think that website's still up. Didn't Turbo Sean find it recently? Please.
No, my WordPress. Yeah, please give Mike a video game job or something.
Yeah, exactly. So that's maybe try that. From Nintendo Bro. Hello, Mike Minotti. What is up, my dude Jeff Grubb? How's it going? King of Mario Strikers!
Oh my god!
Thank you, Nintendo Bro. He's just like, hello, Mike Minotti, and then it's all caps for King of Mario Strikers. That's right. Who gives a shit about Red Dev Times? Anyway,
that's what it is. Now we just don't care anymore. Now you're taking the Christian route. That's pretty.
So many people care so much more about Mario Strikers, as we could see from the fervor of the audience. Anyway, I'm not a PC gamer by any means, mostly because I want a premium setup, but I can't come to grips with spending the cash it would take to get it. Is the Steam Deck a good enough replacement, or should I just go sell a kidney to get a beefy PC of my dreams? I think a Steam Deck.
It's a replacement for a real gaming PC.
I think it's a fine way to experience PC gaming. If you don't have any other way of playing PC games, and if the other benefits of having the Steam Deck appeal to you, if having something you could play anywhere, something you could take with you, something you could play in bed, if all that stuff works for you, the Steam Deck is fantastic. If you want to play a good emulation system, get the Steam Deck. It's great. $400. It's kind of like a pretty low. I'll say, especially because you can resell that thing. Get the $400 model. Get a big SD card. Try it out. And if you don't like it, you could sell that thing for more than you bought it for. So yeah, and probably still will be able to by the time you get the one that you're ordering. All right, that does it for the questions from the Discord community. Thank you, everybody, so much for sending in those questions. If anybody wants to send in questions next week, again, all you got to do is just join the Discord and then get in the Patreon, patreon.com/GameMess, or hit the join button here on YouTube. Mike, did we get any more super chats?
Yeah, a couple more here. King is Overrated asks, or says, Mike, love the DX shirt. Thank you. Also, suck it down. or break it down, suck it. I missed suck it down. I just combined
just like Xbox would say, suck it down.
Yeah. Look, degenerate into something full. I just got tired of doing what you told me to do. That's the breaks, Jeff. King is overrated. Mike, love the DX shirt. Also, do we think all the games coming out at the end this year are announced? Or could we have a surprise or two? I mean, maybe, Jeff. I feel like we're pretty spoken for, except again, if like that Metroid Prime remaster is happening. Other than that, we seem pretty well spoken for.
Yeah. So what's this go like games coming out at the end of this year announced, or could we have a surprise? Yeah, I think Mike is right. Like in terms of surprises at this point, it's gonna be August here real soon. I mean, maybe there's one surprise, but it sounds like we know about a lot of the surprises that could still come.
Bush League Gaming says, do podcast titles matter? I can't imagine titles like Eating Pikachu's Ass result in much SEO, but I guess you never know. I don't think about this stuff at all, Jeff. You named the shows. Do you care about SEO?
I mean, I would care if I thought it mattered. I don't think SEO matters for podcasts like RSS feed titles too much. I think it probably matters a little bit if there's big news, like, you know, for the Game S mornings today. Like I pick a headline every day, and today I was like, oh, it's, you know, GTA 6, so that's always good to put in a headline. We could try that. Although I think on the podcast feed, it's on like it's honestly just the date. We don't even try that hard on that. But like I'll just look. Okay, I mean, this just speaks for itself. Okay, so a couple weeks ago we put out an episode called "Is Nintendo readying a new console?" And so the day that came out, it got 980 plays, and that's just the RSS, not the YouTube. So this is just the podcast version. This week, we put out a podcast called Eating Pikachu's Ass, and it got 1,006 plays. So it got more. And in between there, we released a couple episodes that got way less. So, like...
I thought he was just being hypothetical. We actually did name an episode Eating Pikachu's Ass.
Mike, I hate to tell you, but yes, I hate for you to find out this way.
I had to dig into my memory to remember why that would even be a thing, and then I remember. Jesus Christ! I guess
you left. You had to go do something, and it was Sean and Christian on the call with me, and I was like, guys, I need a name for this podcast, and then Sean's like, can you name it Eating Pikachu's Ass? Like, is that okay on YouTube? I'm like, probably not on YouTube, but like RSS, there are no laws. And so I went for it. Yeah. And hey, it paid off. Way more people downloaded this than any other recent podcast in the last month. So there you go.
Look, you're embarrassing us in front of Rachel's husband now.
We're not the butthole. Not the meat. The hindquarters. The rump roast.
Fuck up, Jeff. God damn it.
It's not embarrassing if she understands. If I keep explaining, eventually it'll make sense.
Oh my god, I'm glad you're bad at neon white. Oh no, Christian's here. What? What do you want?
Just
what
stop.
Is this show?
No, you stop. You get out of here. We'll talk about Pikachu's asshole all we want.
No, stop.
He says he doesn't want it to make sense. Very good. Wonderful.
All right, Jeff, have you been playing any video games?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, what have I been playing? I've been playing a little bit of stuff. I put my Switch in the dock, and I connected the N64 controller and used that for a while, and had a pretty good time playing games that way.
I need to get one of those controllers because it is actually kind of weird playing N64 games without that controller. It is more so than most things. It's
yes.
Like I'm missing that controller.
And Steam just added support for that controller and the other retro NES controllers. But the one I actually care about specifically is definitely the N64 controller, because that's you just kind of want those buttons in that layout.
So what you're saying is that if Turok 2 Seeds of Evil wins the Game Best Game Club poll for next month,
I will play it with an N64 controller. Yes.
Or yeah. Or you can get it it is on Switch also. That nice
totally.
Version.
Yeah. Nice. Let's see, what else have I been playing? I almost talked about that. I'm not allowed to talk about that.
Wow.
Yeah, let's see. I'm trying I played a little bit more Fall Guys. I'm down with that. I downloaded Fortnite because we're gonna all do Oops All John Cena's.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. I'm tempted almost to do it again.
Yeah, I've not played that game in so long, but no build mode is like the thing that I've been like, okay, this will get me back into it. And then really, honestly, I played a bunch of Neon White today because I didn't have anything in the afternoon for work. So
what chapter are you on?
8. I just started chapter 8. How many chapters are there?
12. A couple of them are like they only have 2.
Okay. Good. All right. Well, I'll
yes,
get
it
there.
was longer than I thought even myself.
Yeah.
I
think it's probably too many levels, at least for the way we're playing it. It's probably the right amount of levels for the way most normal humans play it.
Well, you already know there's a rocket launcher. Did you get to that? Because that adds something cool to it. Then there's like one more power up that's really
no.
Cool.
I don't think I have that rocket launcher.
The rocket launcher makes things pretty exciting.
Yeah, people seem to like. They always talk it up like Jeff hasn't even gotten to the rocket launcher yet. I'm like, what the fuck is this rocket launcher? So
it's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. Other than that, like I got SnowRunner like set up to do a thing next week on Giant Bomb.
You played Hitman 3. How's that new DLC?
And then I played Hitman 3. Yes, Ambrose Island is fantastic. It is really good. It owns actually. It's a great level. It is we did the tier list on that, and it has all the stuff that we like. There's like 2 sides of the island. One that is more secure than the other, and it's fun to try to break into that. And then even like within the more open side, there's a lot of different like nodes where it's like, here's the fishing part of it where it's like right on the water. Here's the village where everyone like actually lives and sleeps, and then here's the part of the village where everyone like goes to the bar and has slap fights and stuff. It's
That's great.
And there's a lot of cool stuff, and it does the thing where this might be my options. I don't think that I have this option select. I think this is just how these levels are working for like DLC going forward. They don't have like the story stuff where you're gonna overhear something and then it's gonna tell you. No, it has that stuff, but it doesn't have the thing where it then like says now go to this next thing to keep this specific story going. It's like, whoa, this person said that. The like
free form.
Yeah, he's like, the boss might not like it if you beat up all his guys in the slap fight. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's way more freeform, way more open to you interpreting the evidence and stuff. Like some of it's still gonna guide you if you're paying attention, but some of it's like it just feels less handholdy, which is nice because there's still a lot of cool kills. Obviously, if you go look at the challenges, like I found like a pirate suit, and then there's a sort of like an obvious kill you could do with the pirate suit, but I don't even know how to like activate that kill because like I found like a cannonball. I'm like, where's the cannon? Right, exactly. It's like, wait, can I kill them both at the same time? Like that sort of stuff. Like I'm like thinking about those things even more because there's not a lot of handholdy stuff. But I always got around to doing that stuff eventually, like playing that way eventually. It's just this one is like just kind of kicking everybody right into that mode, which I think is the right thing to do with a DLC map for Hitman. I love it though. I did that stream and then I immediately kept playing it, and I forgot we had a meeting and I had to go to a meeting late. So.
Oh, you would never do that.
Listen, I know it's so unlike me, but yeah. How about you, Mike? What have you been playing?
Jeff, I did like you suggested. I got a code for Hitman 3 on my PC. So how
about
maybe after Jeopardy tomorrow? How about I play Ambrose Island? And maybe if you can, maybe you can stick around and you can watch me do that.
I will. That'd be fun. That'd be cool. Yes, I would love that. It's a really good time. So yeah, I'm glad you picked up a code. Does it like have all the content? Like they just give you
the person sent me a code made it sound like it wouldn't. Like I don't think we have the whole trilogy on there. But then when I redeemed the code, it said redeem for Hitman Trilogy.
Right.
Like,
okay.
So I think either way, it's Hitman 3, so I'll be able to play Ambrose Island.
Right. Exactly. Cool. Well, that's fantastic. I'm glid, and
I'm excited to install this on my Steam Deck.
It works great on the Steam Deck. Now, I mean, they've added a lot of stuff in terms of DLSS support. So the Steam Deck doesn't have an NVIDIA thing. It uses FSR as well for like improving the frame rate on Steam Deck, but it's FSR 1.0. This stuff doesn't matter. But the big thing is like, it's cool to still play on my big PC because I get like ray tracing and stuff like that, and ultra wide screen support and all those things that they were like really focused on in these recent updates. But I'm still mostly playing on my Steam Deck, and it's great. It runs great. I get sort of that locked 40. I set my refresh rate to 40 hertz, and it looks really smooth. And you could like turn on the FSR, and it just runs great. And you could set the sort of dynamic resolution to try to keep it in that range, and it works wonderfully. So I'm having a really good time with it as a portable game.
I've also, what's been my big Steam Deck game lately is Ys 8.
Okay, yeah. I have no real familiarity with this series other than the Player One podcast talks about Ys a lot. Like every year or so, they're like, I played the latest re-release of Ys or the latest sequel to Ys. I'm like, what the? Is it? an action RPG?
What it's an action RPG, and kind of the charm of it is that it's kind of a bog standard action JRPG, and like a lot of the kind of pleasant, comforting ways.
Okay,
it's not like Final Fantasy VII Remake or even like a Kingdom Hearts. It does not have a lot of bells and whistles, but it is just an action RPG with like the anime characters, and you're going out and you're hitting people, and you're getting experience points, and it all works pretty well, and it's all pretty snappy. But yeah, it is just that game.
Are you going to go to Ys 9 after this?
Maybe. There's one that people like that's like an older one. It was only Steam Deck like playable and not verified or whatever. So we'll see. The only one I played before was Memory of Calcutta on the Vita, which I thought was okay. I'm liking this one more, largely because it has like a whole like deserted island theme to it, and I like that vibe.
Right.
It's pretty nice. So I'm enjoying that. And it runs great on the Steam Deck. Like it's a perfect Steam Deck game.
Man.
Because
Ys 9 overwhelmingly positive on Steam.
Yeah. So people do like Ys 9. So I'll get there probably. I think Ys 8 also had pretty good reviews. Ys 8 at first got bad reviews because people didn't like the localization so much, so that they just redid it, and now I think everybody likes it. So
right, that's it. Very positive right now with 3 times the reviews. So yeah.
So I've been enjoying it. It's been a very good Steam Deck game. So I've been doing that and then of course Live a Live still, which 4 chapters into that, I think I still have Near Future, the China one, and the prehistory one, which I think I'm going to do next. I'm excited for that.
Cool. Mike, I think we could probably wrap this show up. What do you think?
We got one more super chat from Gaming Addict.
Yeah, hit it.
I beat Live a Live and it was good, but overrated. So I wonder how I'll fall in on it once I beat it.
There was definitely a lot of praise out there, but I think if you like read many of the reviews, there was a lot of people who were like, hey, it's kind of uneven at times. But it's like surprisingly good. It's kind of what I think most people are coming at it too. So I think if you read if you skimmed a lot of those and were like, man, everyone just seems to love this thing, I could see thinking, oh, it's overrated.
Did you do the Far Future chapter yet?
No, I've not. I actually just I asked for a code, but I never got a response because I asked for my Game Mess email, and I don't know if it probably probably just actually didn't go through. So I'll have to email from one of my others. We'll see. I'll probably just buy it because the weekend's going to be here, and I don't want to email them on the weekend. So we'll see. That one's like only $50 too. So it's like between that and Xenoblade, I'm like, I'm probably not going to buy Xenoblade because I'm probably not going to like it. But
you're probably not going to like it.
Right. So Live Alive.
I think I will like it.
Right. Live Alive, I'm like $50. I'll just buy that. That's fine.
There you go.
Okay. Then let's hit this. Mike, where can people find you on the internet, and where can they find you tomorrow night on Twitch?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter
or
and
YouTube.
Twitch at Koto, TOLKOT. Well, we'll
do Twitch as well.
Jeopardy on YouTube, and then on Twitch. My Twitch will play Hitman. I'm gonna play some Final Fantasy 14 tonight with AJ. He used to do the first wave of raids before the new ones come out later in August for Final Fantasy 14. So I'm gonna be on Twitch after this again. And then, Tuesday's last of the Nintendo. Jeff, who's your guest tomorrow on Game S Mornings?
That is going to be Timur Hussein is joining me tomorrow. So look forward to that. We're going to have a lot of news to talk about. I'm sure there seemed to be a lot of stuff happening throughout today. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, that'll be good. I'll catch up on it in the morning. Get me on Giant Bomb. Come hang out on Giant Bomb. We got the Discord. I think you can go to discord.gg/Giant Bomb. I think it'll get you in the Discord over there if you want to hang out with that crew. Otherwise, if you want to get more from like me and Mike, you want to like be a part of our game nights, I think we're probably going to start up the Mario Kart Saturday mornings again. They honestly might still be going on. Like Nick Turbo, do the Mario Kart things still happen on Saturday? If they don't, we'll start bringing them back, especially as this DLC is starting to get close. I'm looking forward to that. And then I don't know, Mike, you got any plans for the weekend?
No, I had the faintest bit of a red line on my COVID test today, so hopefully by Friday, I think, or maybe tomorrow, I think it'll be clear out. I think I'm mostly okay to slightly go out sometimes. I hope so.
Well, and the thing is, like, now you got the limited time antibodies. Yeah, it doesn't last forever, but it's like you might as well take advantage of them while you have them. Yeah, exactly. So, I wonder what's playing at the drive-in. I haven't gone to this drive-in yet. I might try to do that.
I still haven't seen Top Gun. I really need to see Top
Gun. Oh, man, you really
got
to see Top Gun.
Else.
Yeah.
It might be at the cheap theater now, which would be nice, so I want to see Top Gun.
Let's see.
Otherwise, I don't care. I don't know.
DC League of Super Pets, man. I have no interest in that. I don't even think the kids would like it.
I don't think, no. Don't seen that. You never saw. If Lightyear's at the drive-in, I don't know if it is. That was.
It was. It's not there anymore. But it's also like it's like on some VOD here pretty soon. So
yeah, I think it's on Disney Plus.
We'll watch that at home. Thanks everybody. Have a good one. Bye.
Master Chief comes.
Pikachu!